Now let's move on to some identities. First of all, let's understand what are identities. Any equality which is true for all values of the variable is called an identity. So will it always be true? How do we know that? Now let's take an example where we multiply x plus 1 with x plus 2 and we get x square plus 3x plus 2. Now if we want to see whether this x plus 1 multiplied by x plus 2 will always be equal to x square plus 3x plus 2, let's try and put different values of x and see if it is always true. So for x is equal to 1, we see the left hand side becomes equal to 6 and the right hand side also becomes equal to 6. For x is equal to 2, the left hand side becomes 3 multiplied by 4 equal to 12, and so does the right hand side also become equal to 12. For x is equal to minus 1, the left hand side is 0 and so is the right hand side. For x is equal to minus 2, again the left hand side is 0 and so is the right hand side. And we can continue with many different values of x. In fact, any value that you choose to take. So, and we'll get the right hand side to be equal to left hand side always. So that means this equality is always true for all values of variables. So this is an identity. Now the important point here is, if this is an identity, we can get infinite number of such identities by just multiplying two or more polynomials on the left hand side. See, if you go to the previous one and if you see x plus 1 multiplied by x plus 2 is equal to x square plus 3x plus 2 is simply a multiplication performed on two polynomials, and whatever is the result will always be true. So you could get any number of such identities by putting two or more polynomials on the left hand side and the multiplied result, or you could say the final product polynomial on the right hand side. Now the important thing is, if we can get infinite number of such identities, what is the need to talk about them? What is so special about them? Let's understand what is so special about them. Yes, there are certain standard identities which we commonly use for algebraic expression simplification and arithmetic calculations. So that is where the identities become important. Now we could create the infinite number of such identities, but there are certain standard identities which we generally use going forward in all the simplifications and calculations related to algebraic expressions as well as in arithmetic calculations. We'll see how do we do that. Now first, let's see some of the standard identities. Now we'll take first of all some of the identities based on the squares. So first is a plus b whole square is equal to a square plus b square plus 2ab. Now this is simply by multiplying a plus b with another a plus b. These two polynomials, if you multiply, you will get a square plus b square plus 2ab. Similarly, a minus b whole square will become a square plus b square minus 2ab. A square minus b square is equal to a plus b into a minus b. So you could try all of these using the simple multiplication of the polynomial uh, things we just talked about, and then you'll see that these identities are coming out to be true. A plus b whole square plus a minus b whole square will become twice of a square plus b square. A plus b whole square minus a minus b whole square will become 4ab. Now some of the identities which are based on cubes. A plus b whole cube is equal to a cube plus b cube plus 3ab into a plus b. Now this is again, it's simple to see how do we get these results. If you multiply a plus b into a plus b into a plus b, and if you just try and open it, first you could do a plus b into a plus b and then get the product and then multiply it with another a plus b, and you'll get this identity to be true. And a minus b whole cube is equal to a cube minus b cube minus 3ab into a minus b. A cube minus b cube is equal to a minus b into a square plus b square plus ab. A cube plus b cube is equal to a plus b into a square plus b square minus ab. So again, these are some of the identities, and there are some more standard identities that we'll do in the higher classes. So we need to remember these identities. Now we'll see the usage of the identity. So we just talked about, there could be infinite number of identities, but then there are certain standard identities that we need to remember. So now let's see, why do we need to remember them and what is the actual usage of these identities? Now if I am given to calculate 5.1 whole square, what is this? Of course, I can do the simple calculation by multiplying 5.1 by 5.1. But that would be a longer approach. That would be more time consuming, cumbersome approach to calculate that. So we'll see how using the identities we could do it in a much simpler and faster way. So if we could write 5.1 as 5 plus 0.1 whole square, then we could use the identity a plus b whole square is equal to a square plus b square plus 2ab. And using that identity, we make it as 5 square and then 0.1 square, and then we have 2ab, which is 2 into 5 into 0.1, and that result becomes 25 plus 0.01 plus 1, and that's 26.01. So if you see this is much faster approach of calculating 5.1 whole square instead of doing a standard calculation. Now if supposing we have to calculate 296 multiplied by 304, of course you could do a simple arithmetic multiplication to do it, but let's see using the identity some simpler and faster way of calculating this. So now we could write 296 as 300 minus 4, and we could write 300 as 300 plus 4. Now if you look at it closely, it is 300 minus 4 multiplied by 300 plus 4, which is equivalent to saying it is equal to a minus b into a plus b, where a is 300 and b is 4. So using that identity, we make it equal to 300 square minus 4 square, which is equal to 90,000 minus 16, and the result becomes 89,984. Now let's look at some more usage of identities. If you were to calculate 103 square minus 97 square, looking at obviously 103 square would be a cumbersome and time consuming process. Same would be true for 97 square. So let's see if we could do something better to do to calculate this faster. We could use some of the identities. Now looking at the numbers itself, one thing we can definitely make out is both the numbers are of the type a plus b and a minus b, where a would be 100 and b would be 3. One is 100 plus 3, the other is 100 minus 3. So let's see if we could use some identity from that. Now we can clearly make it 100 plus 3 square minus 100 minus 3 square. So we know that the identity says a plus b whole square minus a minus b whole square is equal to 4ab. So that makes it equal to 4 into 100 into 3, and that's 1200. That's so simple to calculate. Now if we were to calculate 99 cube, how do we do that? Now again, using the arithmetic way of doing it would be more cumbersome. So let's make it 100 minus 1 whole cube, and can we use that identity which says that a minus b whole cube is equal to a cube minus b cube minus 3ab into a minus b, which makes it 100 cube minus 1 cube minus 3 into 100 into 1 into 100 minus 1, which makes it 10 lakh minus 1 minus 300 into 99, which is again 10 lakh minus 1 minus 29,700, and that's so easy to calculate. It becomes 9,70,299 is the answer. So it's so much faster to calculate it this way. Now let's move on to the quiz on algebraic expressions. So first of all, simplify 1 plus x into x square plus 1 into x raised to power 4 plus 1 into 1 minus x, and here are the options. The second question to be done is, which of these is not a term in the product of x plus 1 into 2x plus 1 and 3x squared? So these are the three polynomials which needs to be multiplied, and you need to tell which of the options is not a term in the product. So here are the options. Now coming to the last question on algebraic expressions. We need to find the value of xy if 3x plus 4y is equal to 6 root 3 and 3x minus 4y is equal to 6. And here are the options. Now let's look at the solution for these questions. First one was simplify this expression. Now, first of all, we'll rearrange this because we know that 1 plus x and 1 minus x, if we put them together, we can probably use an identity. So we rearrange to bring them together. We make it 1 plus x into 1 minus x into x squared plus 1 into x raised to power 4 plus 1. So now it becomes 1 minus x square, and now since we know that if we want to use some identity, this x square plus 1 should also be of the form 1 plus x square, so that we can use identity of the type a minus b and a plus b. So we first of all, for first two terms using the identity, we make it as 1 minus x square, and then the third term we rearrange to make it 1 plus x square, and then the fourth term we keep like that. And this again, using the same identity, it becomes 1 minus x raised to power 4 into, again we rearrange it here to 1 plus x raised to power 4, and now again using the same identity, it becomes 1 minus x raised to power 8. So that's the final answer for the question, which is the option D. Looking at the solution for the next question, we need to find the product of first of these three polynomials, and then we'll see which of these is not a term in this product. So let's put them together. I'm placing them without a multiplication sign because that's not really required. So let's first multiply the first two polynomials, x plus 1 multiplied by 2x plus 1. So again, the simple standard way of doing it is each term multiplied by each term of the second polynomial. So we multiply x with 2x plus 1, and we multiply 1 with 2x plus 1. So we get 2x square plus 2x plus x plus 1, and multiply it with 3x square. So simplifying the first term, it becomes first polynomial, it becomes 2x square plus 3x plus 1, and multiply this with 3x square, and we get the final answer as 6x raised to power 4 plus 9x cube plus 3x square. So we can clearly see that 6x square is not a term in the final product. So option C is the correct answer. Now the solution to the last question, we have to find the value of xy if these two polynomials are given. So now one approach would have been to find out the value to solve these linear equations, to find out the value of x and to find out the value of y, and then you multiply the two to get the final value of xy. But let's see how do we use the identity and to make it simpler and calculate the value of xy directly. So we know that a plus b whole square minus a minus b whole square is equal to 4ab, and we also know, looking at the question, that these two expressions are of the type a plus b and a minus b. So we use this identity here and we say a plus b whole square minus a minus b whole square is equal to 4ab, so which essentially means 3x plus 4y whole square minus 3x minus 4y whole square is equal to 6 root 3 whole square minus 6 square. So now on the left hand side, this becomes equal to 4 into 3x into 4y, which is 24xy, and on the right hand side it becomes equal to 108 minus 36. So 24xy is equal to 72, and xy becomes equal to 3, and that is what we needed to calculate. So option B is the correct answer here. Friends, I hope you enjoyed the session. If you find it useful, please like it and share it with your friends. You can visit us at our Cool Smart Learning website and post your queries there. And please subscribe to the Cool Smart Learning channel for getting updates on the new sessions. Thank you.